You did it. You got through the most challenging part of upgrading your mindset. Turn to the person next to you and say, I am so proud of you. So now, you have a much bigger vision for the impact you can make with your business. Yes? Now, you know what's gotten in the way. You're clear about all the beliefs that are no longer going to get in your way. Yes? The fears? Gone. Because now you have a formula for getting over the fears. The self-image? The new you? Amazing. Yeah, give yourselves a big hand for that. I've invited some friends. Just like yesterday, we have our friends right here in that camera. Would you stand up, turn around, and welcome them to the Mindset Retreats? Welcome, everyone. We're so glad you could join us. This, today, now, is a continuation of believing. What I know for sure is that when you believe and expect, you can achieve anything. And I know that for me, when I'm in isolation, when if I don't feel like it's possible, then I don't reach it. But when I see somebody else who can do it, who has done it, but not just one person, but person after person after person, and they followed the same recipe, and the same recipe always comes out perfect, what do I want? That recipe. But I want the whole cookbook. Right? Yeah, give her a high five. Yeah. But first, I want to make sure that the recipe works before I buy the cookbook. And so I get inspired by stories of people who have done it, who were at a place where I am now, who wanted to get to a different place, who perhaps had some resistance. I want to hear how they overcame the resistance and then what happened as a result of that. Am I alone in getting inspired by those stories, or are you with me? Yes. And so I have an embarrassment of riches, however, whatever that sounds like, is that there are hundreds of success stories to be inspired by. And we have limited time. And so I have lovingly picked just a handful of inspiring stories. These are not the only ones. They're people from different industries, women who were at different levels, with different resistances, just because I want a variety for you to inspire. You know, you can say like, oh, well, all those people are the same or in the same industry, but that's not my industry. Well, the thing is, it works for everybody because the recipe works. And so I invited a few people to come onto the stage and to vulnerably share with you their whole process of growth, of scaling their business to new levels. Would you like to hear from them? Members of the Inspiration Panel for Mindset Retreat 2019, please make yourselves known. Come onto the stage. Have a seat, everyone. So we spoke in the green room just a few minutes ago, and I shared with you that by sharing your story, you are inspiring, almost giving permission to, being the catalyst for people who perhaps feel stuck and want to get beyond their current situation into a place of really accelerating in their business and their life. And so I just want to say thank you so much for being vulnerable and generous in sharing your story. Thank you so much. And so, Emma, would you like to go first? Let's get it over with, right? Give her a hand.
Yes,
Introduce yourself, would you?
So thank you, Fabienne. I'm Emma Garrett of
Can you hear? Is her microphone on? You don't have to do anything to it.
Ease.
Ease and grace. Go ahead.
I'm Emma Garrett of emma-garrett.com. I'm a career coach and resume writer.
And what was your business situation like before you arrived here with us? What wasn't working?
It was less than recreational. So it was that if someone found me and hunted me down, I would work with them, but I did nothing to market, and I had made $250 last year by this time.
In the whole year?
Yeah, that was the entire revenue for my business for that year. So very much a side non-hustle.
Yeah. Because we talk about side hustles, and this is a side non-hustle. So what made you, tell us, how did you come to us? What happened?
I said to my mother that I was looking for a mentor in my field, and I wasn't finding one. So I looked outside of my industry, and I started talking about this woman named Fabienne, and implemented a few of the things that you told me to, and wound up at Mindset.
Mm-hmm. And at Mindset, you were given an invitation to join us. What was your first reaction?
I knew before the invitation came that it was going to be a yes for me, and when I was watching this session last year, I was nauseous with knowing that I had to do it.
You told me that you actually ran out of the room, and what happened?
I slithered out the back door and got sick in the bathroom because I just knew, oh, bleep, I need to do this, and this is scary.
Why did you need to do it, Emma?
Seeing the recipe implemented, let me be more direct, I couldn't not try once I heard how many people had been successful with it.
Yeah. What was the resistance? What we've learned is that there's always a resistance at every level, and the resistance can look different for everybody. And we can all feel it. Some people say, oh yeah, just take me to my next level. But sometimes there's something that feels like a big block of fear or an obstacle that's getting in the way. And I always find that it's really helpful to hear about somebody's resistance, what that particular thing was. Do you agree? And then to hear how they got over it so that they can then end up a year later succeeding and being up here. So what was your point of resistance?
My points of resistance
plural.
were a few Ks in credit card debt, the rationalization that I already loved the work that I was doing outside of my business, so who was I to want that additional joy as well? And also the fear of doing something making a commitment like this when I would imagine my husband very understandably would think might be crazy.
Yeah. So from that place of fear of commitment, fear of thinking your husband is crazy, you had some, like many people, did I say something funny or is it?
You said, yeah, fear of thinking my husband was crazy.
I'm sorry, husband. Fear of your husband thinking you're crazy. And then also a money obstacle. How did you because you came into the program despite all those three. How did you overcome the resistance? Pragmatically speaking, like so that they can take notes.
I just decided, sometimes I had someone that once coached me on consulting with my 90-year-old self. And I knew that my 90-year-old self would be disappointed in me if I didn't try. And I wanted to be, I have no children yet, but I wanted to be a mother that was inspiring to my kids, and I would want my hypothetical daughter to be brave, so here I am.
You decided to be brave. What did you, how did you work through the, your husband as an obstacle? I can't seem to get the whole husband thing right, but will you forgive me about that?
I feel your love for him.
Yes.
I
Yes.
do. I just threw myself into the work because I wanted to prove to myself and to him that it was worth it.
Yeah.
So I provided the data, and once he saw the data, he said, "Great job, baby. You're getting us closer to the ski condo in Montana."
He was really proud for you. And you're proud for you. What's happened in the last year?
I have closed $49K in sales.
From $250.
Yes.
I didn't make that my first or my second year.
So that was just absolutely directly a result of the Boldheart program. And then because I was generating more revenue, is an understatement, in my private practice, that enabled me to raise my rates in the other work that I do up to 139% increase in some cases. And I'm on track to close 100K this year.
Wow. I love how nonchalantly you say that. Like,
I've read my affirmation card about it so many times.
you know the goal card that we talked about? Is that the one you're talking about?
It's really ratty in my wallet. Yes, that was the one.
What are the parts of the Boldheart Business Program that that really helped you create those new results? Which ones do you hold the dearest?
The Gushing Love waterfall. That has helped me embody being the kind of person who who has a six-figure business that's supporting people with love and being my full self. So that love waterfall can look like, do the stuff, like do your homework.
Yeah.
And the love waterfall can look like, hey, my dear, let me take you under my wing. Like, I got you.
Yeah, kind of nice. You don't really get that in the Muggle world, do you?
No, and I sat here last year and thought, I have the best community. Like, I do all kinds of personal development work, and I have the best friends, and everyone's talking about community. Like, I've got a wonderful community. Oh, this is different.
Yeah. Would you, if there's a woman or a man here who is feeling very curious and pulled about joining us in this program, what would you say to them?
Just ask your 90-year-old self.
Yeah.
You already know. Maybe you're already getting nauseous.
Give her a hand, everybody. Tania.
Hi, I'm Tania Jackson from readyidea.co.uk. I'm empower women through digital marketing, technology, and social media.
And what was your business situation before you joined us?
Well, I had a style business. I was picking and choosing clients and going a little bit messy and a little bit out of structure. I was needing structure, really.
And tell us about, were you interested, like what was it about the Boldheart business program that when you heard about it made you say, this is something that I think I should be doing?
Yeah. Like many people, I saw Fabienne's Facebook ads, and I read it, and oh, she's talking to me. And I saw a video, and she was very emotional in the video. And I think, wow, I haven't seen any leaders out there, any mentors be vulnerable. And I came to the meeting in London, very skeptical, not believing. And I think, maybe it's just bullshit. And you know, British people know, right? We don't believe. And I'm Brazilian, but I'm British. So it's even worse. But then throughout the day, you know, Fabienne, being Fabienne, honest, completely honest, being vulnerable, cry all day long. And, you know, and I'm a mother, and see a leader as a mother, and making money, being a mother, being a lovable wife, having friends, care about the other woman. I was like, exactly what I want. I cried so much on that day. I was like, I have to do this. I have to do this. How am I going to do it?
Yeah. Was there resistance in joining at first?
Sorry?
Was there resistance in joining?
Oh, yes.
Tell us, please.
How I'm going to do this? How am I going to explain myself the amount of money? I'm not good enough. Should I spend this money on me? Should I invest on me? How am I going to say to my husband about this amount of money? He's going to say, I'm crazy. What do you think you are? And I'm thinking, and I think the problem was, invest the money in me. The thing is, some of us here invest money in business and don't invest in ourselves. And actually, we need to invest in ourselves in order to grow the business. And that day was a breakthrough. That day I learned about mindset.
Yeah.
A little bit. Today was another level.
Yeah. And so you decided to go for it?
Yes. Yeah, I signed in that day.
Yeah. And what's happened since, Tania?
Oh my God. Well, loads of things happening. I had loads of ideas. I had an event in London, and I did collaboration with other Boldhearts. I have new kind of orientation. I decided not to work with bad, evil clients anymore. I'm very much, it's a win-win situation. When I sit with a client, must be, I'm happy, we have the same vision. It's no longer about the money and I need to pay the bills. It's for the cause.
Yes, for the cause. What's happened to your business? What's happened to your income? What's happened to how your husband views this? Tell me everything.
And, well, he doesn't say much. Probably he, like you're thinking, better be quiet. But from being only 6 months, it's not much, but if I'm looking in terms of growth, I have growth, I think 45%.
In 6 months?
In 6 months.
Wow. Can you give her a hand? Did you ever grow 45% on your own?
Never. Never.
What is it about the program that helped you grow 45% in 6 months?
It's the community.
Yeah.
It's my BA.
Accountability buddy, yeah.
Yes, yes. And it's, you know that you know, but you need people to say that that you're capable of.
Yeah.
And have a bunch of women together and say, you can do it, you believe it, and you can.
Yeah. How's Kiva as a mentor?
Kiva's amazing. And, she's not a sense of style, but she's so clever.
I'm sure that's an inside joke.
And she mean business.
Yeah.
She mean business. I had issues with some of my clients, and I said to Kiva, what should I do? They behave in a strange way, and Kiva, just shout at them. And I'm like, what? This is in a funny way.
What would be your advice to somebody who's considering it? Who's sitting there thinking, oh my gosh, I have to invest in myself. And I really applaud that you said, you have to invest in yourself. Somebody recently said, oh, I invested in you, Fabienne. I said, no, my sweet, you didn't invest in me at all. You invested in yourself. And she cried and she said, yeah, for the first time in my life. And look at what's happened since. What would you say to somebody who's, wow, I feel pulled to this. I feel fear. I feel doubt. I feel worry. What would you say to her?
You have to invest yourself. You need to believe in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, who will?
Yeah.
And one thing that's through this 6 months journey that I had is take time to evaluate what I have done for me. And what I have done in Invest in Me has triple changed my life, my business, my family.
Yeah. It's pretty significant change in just 6 months. And the best is yet to come.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the one thing that's for me was mind-blowing is the mindset. Because once you change your mindset, you change the perception about you, everything's changed.
Yeah. As I think you heard, we have a mindset first methodology. We don't teach you how to do something, whether it's sales or marketing or team or systems. We don't teach you that until we clear the resistance and the mindset around that thing. And then once you open to doing these things, then we give you the how, the exactly how, the scripts, the templates, exactly what it looks like. And that's why you can fly, because we put the mindset first.
Yes.
Glad you did it?
100%.
Yes. Give her a hand, everybody. Suzanne, why don't you go next?
Hi, everyone. My name is Suzanne Longstreet, successandclarity.com. I'm an NLP master coach and master hypnotherapist.
And what was your situation like in business, Suzanne, when we first encountered each other?
I was really struggling. I was determined to do it on my own, and not. I thought I knew it all, so I call myself a recovering know-it-all. I also was out of integrity, because how could I invite people to come and work with me when I wasn't willing to invest in my own self for my success, and I was telling them they needed to? And remember, my brand name is Success.
Right.
And Clarity. So I felt very out of integrity.
What specifically wasn't working in your business at the time?
I would wake up every day and not get to my office until about 10 o'clock because I didn't know what to do first. Even though I could tell my clients what they needed to do, I would waste time. I was watching a lot of TV. I wasn't marketing effectively. I wasn't doing anything. And I was getting clients out of luck.
Yeah.
There was no plan and no process to get there.
Yeah. Did you get to a point where it was too painful to just stay on your own?
Truly. And I will share with you, I did hire other coaches and I got into other coaching programs, and I'm a nice person. I don't understand why they needed to bully me, and I got bullied.
By your coach?
My coach. I would ask a question on the Q&A, and she would say, "Oh, Suzanne, you should know that." And I'm like, well, I wouldn't have asked it if I didn't know it. And I remember doing something, and we were told that it was a test thing, and they were going to give us techniques and how to do it. And so it was okay if we didn't pass the first one, because it wasn't the real test. We were going to do that later. And so when I didn't do it perfectly, she came up to me, she put both hands on her knees, she leaned down. I'm not going to do it to you. And she basically said, she screamed at me and she said, "You fail." She screamed it in front of 20 other people.
Did that make you be hesitant about getting coached again?
Yes. And it made me hesitant about spending the same amount of money that I had spent and trusted. And so I pulled back. I hid. I became invisible.
Yeah. So there was resistance to working with another coach or
Yes.
program, right?
Yeah, everything.
Tell me all the different resistances.
Money.
Yep.
I've already spent that much money and I didn't get anything out of it. What's going to be different about this? They told me that I would succeed if I just followed their recipe, but they didn't really know what they were talking about, and I wasn't seeing evidence of them moving forward. So how is this one going to be different? You had to jump through a lot of hoops before I was willing to hire you. So glad I did. And I was just very stuck in resistance, and finally I thought, I'm out of integrity. I can't keep doing it this way. One of the things I've always loved is that you provide a lot of valuable content, and even the free that's out there. And there was always wisdom, and there was always vulnerability, and there was always something that moved my business forward. Even the programs that I did, they didn't move me as forward as the content that I got from you.
Yeah. What made you get over the hurdles of saying yes and get you into the program? What did you have to do or think or rationalize or work out on paper to say, you know what, no matter if it's a money thing or if it's I'm not sure it'll work, or I'm not sure I'll ever invest in coaching again, or can I trust her? What is it that you did to actually get into the program?
Truth. I remortgaged my house.
What?
I remortgaged my house.
Yeah.
I talked to my husband. I said, I need to be in integrity. I need to offer my services. I need to invest in myself and my success, and I will figure it out. And he said, we will figure it out. You can, this November, you go in January. I said, okay. And then I went in on November. And so I went to him and I said, honey, I signed up now because there's a dance party in December.
A girl after my own heart. So your business grew. Yeah, what are the parts about the Boldheart business program that works that work where other things didn't work before. What is it about here that actually works?
I came in with, and people who are here in this room know because they met me that first meeting, and I came in with a lot of armor on. And I pushed everybody away because I had been hurt so much before by not only the people that I'd been coached by, but by the people in the program. And they just kept loving on me, and they kept showing me how great I am, and they kept telling me how great I am, and I kept thinking, I can't believe this, I can't believe this, I can't believe this, and it was very true. And I'd never experienced that because I just never experienced it. High school, growing up, never had as deep connections as I do in this community. And so when somebody else tells you how great you are over and over again, and you start to believe in yourself, and I do this work, I do NLP, and I do it every month, and I still needed somebody to help me to see it in myself. And one of the biggest things too, this might seem small, and it's huge to me. I'm actually sharing a room with 2 other women this weekend. I would never have done that in the past. I would have kept myself small and by myself.
Yeah.
Mwah.
So you started getting results in the program.
So starting to get results. So get up every morning and get into my office on a regular basis and follow the recipes and listen. Derek, I listen to you every morning. You're in my... I turn you on while we're in the bathroom, and I walk. I listen to the lessons. I come to every single meeting.
Yes.
I go and I do everything you tell me. If you hold up a book online and say, read this book, I go do it. Fabienne, you told us to go write a book, and people had told me to go write a book, and I'm like, I'm not writing a book. Why am I going to write a book? I'm not going to write a book. And she told me, write a book, and this is the reason why, and this is how you're going to do it. I wrote that book in 13 days.
We have a formula in the Boldheart Business Program to write a lead generation book in 90 days. Countless members of ours have written books in 90 days, and then Suzanne Longstreet goes and writes one in 13 days. Can we give her a hand? And you got clients from that book.
I have.
Lots of clients from that book.
And it's fun being able to say published author on Amazon with an author profile. That's awesome. It's so fun. This month, can I talk money?
I want you to talk money because it's usually the taboo thing, and
That's
everybody skirts around it, but let's really...
Let's just do it.
Let's just go for it.
This month, I will make more money this month. We're not even done yet, right?
No.
Than I did in all of 2014, all of 2015.
Wow. Wow. You said to me, I don't know if it's this month or just recently, you said, it was July, I think you said, I usually don't make much money in July. You made so much money in July.
And August.
Yes.
July, I made no money. Previous years, I would just take the foot off the gas and, it's summer. Who's going to hire me in summer? This year, I kept doing the program, doing the formula, doing the action, and made more money in July, then more money in August, and this month has been a crescendo because I kept taking the action.
Yeah, you're just following the recipe.
Following the recipe.
Something happened. We don't have to talk about it.
No, it's fine.
Something
so
happened.
far in the past.
Yeah.
So I joined the program 2017, end of 2017. Everything was great, and February 20th they gave me the news. You have cancer of the breast. You have a 1.3 centimeter lump. We need to take it out. And so I remember calling you, and one of the greatest things about this community is you and everybody was like, okay, what do you need? What can we do? How can we help? You spared 5 minutes for me or 15 minutes on your calendar. You gave me the wisdom that I needed, and I believe it was something to the effect of, this is happening for you. What can you learn from this? I continued to do my business and grow it and get through my treatments. And I just told them that I was an entrepreneur and I needed to have my treatment at after 4:30 every day. Yeah. And then I took a little bit of time off because I needed to do that and came back stronger than ever.
Yeah.
Thank you.
How did the community show up for you during
During that time, they reached out. Thank you, Rolinda. Rolinda Stotts reached out and she said, hey, let's do this together. I love you. I want to see you do this. And she became my AB partner, even though I was out of the program. And she just reached out and she kept telling me I could do this and I was strong. And one of the best things that she said, and I'm going to share it with all of you, was cancer changes your life so much that you can see your future differently. And when that wisdom, I kept taking the action and doing the things with some prodding.
Yeah.
And it was good.
Yeah. A support system when you needed it
Huge.
most.
Yeah. When I needed it most, because there's a lot of other people that just disappeared.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
A good place to be?
Honestly, yeah. From my heart to yours, if you have the inclination and you're just trying to figure out money, do it. Because I will tell you, I've watched it happen over and over again in my own business and in my life and in stories that I've heard here, that when you make that commitment to yourself and to the universe, the money appears every single time. And especially because you provide us with the formula and the recipe so that we can go out and do it every single month. As long as we show up, do what you tell us to do.
You know, the people who say that they get the most extraordinary results are simply the people who show up. It's really just a formula. It's a two-part formula. Show up and do what we say. Like, don't try to reinvent the wheel to look smart. Like, I've done all the work for you for 20 years. I've sliced and diced this. Every recipe has been tested. Thousands and thousands of women business owners, tens of millions of dollars in results for them later. You just have to exhale into the process, right, Emma? Just exhale into the process, knowing that you are safe.
One of the things that came out yesterday as a result of an aha was even strong women need a soft place to land.
That's
and
right.
This is it.
This is it. Give her a hand, everybody. Carol?
Hi, I'm Carol Rowland. I own a travel business, recessforgrownups.com.
Tell us about your business situation before Boldheart.
Well, my background was industrial engineering from Georgia Tech, and I went to work at IBM in technical sales and ultimately management. And being in management, I saw the dirty underbelly and wanted to have an escape plan. So I started my travel business with a plan to ultimately leave, and did very well while I was working it part-time. It was actually incredibly efficient because I had to make it fit in a short time, and had very good success with group trips. I specialize in customized group travel and then also do individualized trips for high-end and luxury. But I had 200 people take the first group trip I did, which was a huge deal. Like, I didn't even know how big a huge deal it was. But I actually laid myself off from IBM because we had to do a layoff, so I put my name on the list. And I was excited because I did it a year early, but it was like once I had all of the time to work on my business, I got very stuck. Like, I was getting into too much of the minutia, and I was successful. Like, I had very good groups, but it would be up and down, like one really good group this year and then maybe a little something next year. And I mean, it's filling in with the individual stuff, but I would just kind of sat there at the same level, you know. And
For
I
how
was-
long?
For 3-4 years. And
Same plateau?
yeah, just kind of the same plateau. Well, a little dip in the plateau, and then, yeah. So never really busted through after I left IBM, which is a little stupid, but
No, nothing stupid. It just
Right.
is what it is.
it was,
Yeah.
yes.
And so, why Boldheart? What did you see that made you think, like, maybe the Boldheart business program could be something for me?
Well, I wasn't actually interested in the the Boldheart business program. I was in another coaching program, a travel-specific program, but I had a friend that was in Boldheart who invited me to the mindset. So, because I had come from sales, even though I'm very technical and very logical, I did all the Zig Ziglar and Brian Tracy stuff years ago. So I knew about the mindset, and I'd been doing a lot of work with that. So I was interested. And when I came, I just came to do the mindset retreat, and really was sitting in the audience in a fairly pissed off mood most of the time, because you made us stay up late in the room.
Yeah.
And so I would vacillate from being really into the exercises and then highly annoyed, and you know, and I had this arrogance about myself, and just like, okay, when's this thing gonna be over? But when you started talking about the program, what I did not have in that other coaching program that I was in was any structure. It was really good with mindset, and you could ask your questions, but there was no structure. And I knew exactly what I needed. I needed to build a team. I needed to have systems. I needed to have a plan to get where I wanted to go, and I didn't have that. And you talked about the Boldheart program, and I'm like, that's it. That's what I need. I'm doing it.
Yeah. What are the aspects of the program that really help you? What do you enjoy? The meetings, the curriculum, the accountability, the implementation sessions, the pods?
All of the above, but I mean, the meetings, it's a priority on my calendar. I mean, unless I'm out of the country with one of my big groups, I am at the meetings. If I'm in the country, I'm on the Q&A calls, whether I have a question or not, because I listen to everybody else's questions, and they always have something relevant that's going to help me. I get so much out of that. My pod, we have the most awesome pod. I mean, like, we are very bonded. And the community piece is so important. The AB buddy, like, I'm very
Accountability
committed.
buddy.
Oh, the accountability buddy. Like, that is something that you just have to do. That is very critical, because that's your daily, like, keeping this going. And I think that was one of the things that has made a difference, is the fact that it's all, like, the support is always here every single day.
Yeah. What we've noticed is that, so Carol is a little bit different. You're like an engineer, so you're like rather, you know, you do the thing.
Analytical,
Yeah.
logical, yes.
But even
that's me.
somebody like you, we create so much structure for your nature that it's annual and quarterly and monthly and weekly and daily. There is never, like hourly, there's never a day, never an hour where if you want structure, you can't get it. You always have structure. There's always implementation time. It's really, I would like to say, rather phenomenal. I wish I'd had that. Yeah. What's happened in your business, Carol?
Oh my God, I am kicking ass. I am so excited. I will tell you, it took me a while. I had some opportunity, very into the whole overwhelm, so much to do, I couldn't get to opportunities. Like, I could see opportunities out there and I couldn't get there. But coming to the different sessions and working on team and having a structure of how I hire people and interview them, and even though I was following the structure, I still didn't get it right, and I hired some people and I had to fire them and all that. But then we did systems, and I started documenting all the systems and various things I was laying the groundwork, not perfectly, but I was putting some things out there. At the beginning of this year, I had a medical situation where, well, I will say, like last year at Mindset, like I left here and I set some bigger goals, like what I considered stretch goals. And by the way, I'll say in the travel business is a little different because like I do, when I have a group trip, it's usually a year to a year and a half out. So I am doing a ton of work right now. I don't get my money for a year, year and a half. So when I came to Mindset last year, I had one group trip on the books for this year, and that was it. And so I set some pretty aggressive sales goals for myself because it's like, I've just got to start filling this funnel, because if I can get the funnel full, the money is going to be out there. And I set some aggressive goals at Mindset, and then in January we did another year's setting thing, and I raised them even higher. And I was laying the groundwork, and then I had a medical situation come up that I was going to have to take 2 months off to recover from surgery. And I'm like, this is awesome. I'm going to get a rest before I have a crazy, great year. And I just looked at it like, I'm going to honor my recovery, and I'm going to honor my goals, and this is going to be fabulous. And it has just flowed in such an awesome way because at the June meeting, one of the assignments was like to lay out your year and how are you going to make your money, like really lay out the plans. And in the past, okay, so this is travel sales, but my best year in travel sales was probably around $750,000 because I do customized trips. I've got really good profit margins, but again, it was that whole plateau thing. But I laid out the plan with the opportunities I had, and it's like, holy crump, like I have got so much on my plate if I just go after it, but I cannot do it all by myself. And in 2 months, I hired a general manager, I hired an assistant, I hired a gal to do part-time projects for me, I hired a social media person, and now I'm in the stages of training them so that I can get all this stuff off my plate. So this year, I was off for 2 months for my surgery. I went to Tahiti. I was 2.5 weeks on a cruise in Portugal, Spain, and France. 2.5 weeks on a Japan cruise. Last month I was in Ireland. And in July, I hit the sales level that my best sales level. I passed it from all the previous years, and I'll finish this year at 1.2 million in sales.
It's good here.
It's very good. Yes. No, I mean, and that's the thing. I mean, like there is the mindset. Like the people that I hired, for illogical people, like I manifested them. Like I got manifesting stories like crazy. So it's not just the logic stuff. You got to have the mindset and you have to have the structure. You've got to have both.
Yeah.
And I get fed here with everything that I need to be able to continue to move forward.
Great job. Great job. Give her a hand, everybody. Debbie.
Hi, my name is Debbie Dooley. I am a licensed psychotherapist, and I own a group counseling practice called Empowered Connections that works only with women and girls. A little nervous.
It's okay. What was your business situation like before you entered the Boldheart business program?
So I am, in the Colby world, a high, high, low, low, which means that I'm really good at systems. I'm much like Carol. I'm not an engineer, God, but I'm a systems girl. So I had really worked my ass off and had gotten to the low 200s when I found Boldheart. Well, I found you a long time ago.
Yeah.
But when I joined, I was like 210, probably.
Yeah, but what was not working? Why, if you were doing 200, why would you have to join a program like this?
Well, I have big dreams. I want locations all over the country to impact as many women as I possibly can. But I didn't really know how to get there. And so I was really stuck in the how. That's what I call it with my clients. I wasn't sure what to do next. And my husband was like, oh, just work harder. Just see more clients. You'll make more money. I'm like, I'm already seeing 25. And at that time, I had had 3 team members. And I was tired and I was exhausted because I was hustling.
Yeah. And there was some resistance in joining the program because we talked about it earlier.
Yes.
Would you be willing to be vulnerable and share the resistance? Because maybe there's somebody here who experiences that in this moment.
I had resistance on every level. So money for sure. So I'm a farmer's daughter, grew up on a farm. Everything was cheap. And if you made money, you had to hoard it. So, we didn't buy anything that wasn't necessary. So I kind of carried that into my grown-up life, and so that was a big resistance for me. I'm not going to spend that much money on myself. Like that's ridiculous. And the other resistance for sure was my husband, because he's a great person, but he has what I call a scarcity mindset, which means that he also was like, that's ridiculous. That's such a waste of money. You can't do it. So what I did to get over that was, first of all, our money is very separate for lots of reasons, but I'm like, well, I'm going to do it anyway. I just didn't tell him. So I came to Mindset in November of 2017, and I had a call with Caitlin, and I joined actually like the next spring. So I joined in March of 2018, and I didn't tell him for a couple months. And then I don't even think I told him how much it was for a while. Because to me, this is how I felt. I could see where I wanted to be, but I wasn't sure how to get there, and he couldn't. So why would I let him make that? And I wasn't asking for his permission. I was wanting validation, but I also knew that if I wanted to get to where I wanted to go, I had to make that jump. And I'm a big leap and the net will appear girl. So I just made the commitment and the decision, and it was the best decision I've ever made, honestly.
Yeah. Why is that the best decision you've ever made?
Because I found my people here. Like, I am such an outlier and a rebel, and I've never felt like I belonged until I've been here. Like, I'm gonna cry, but
yeah, it's okay.
Tissue, it's okay.
Yeah.
But like really, and so yes, pragmatically, the program works. If you follow the recipe, you will get to where you want to go. Period. But I didn't realize that I needed more than that. I needed sisterhood and fellowship and community, and I had never had that. I mean, I'm 51, y'all, and I've never had that until here. And so I think that really was the perfect combination, the magic solution for me.
What does this community see in you? How do they champion you? What does it look like?
Like reminders of the things that I've gone through and the things that I've accomplished and how I've gotten here, and that I'm not alone, and this is funny because my business tagline is where your story is our story. Where you have been, I have been. And so that is mirrored for me here. Like all of us, we have the same pains and hurts and traumas and hopes and desires. And so here is where I found the mirror that I needed to remind myself that I am made for this. Like, I got this.
Yeah. Debbie, some pretty incredible things have happened since you joined us.
Yeah, so 18 months. I now have 2 locations. I have, about to open my 3rd.
Can we give her a big hand? Like, seriously.
Thank you. I have 10 team members, and they're amazing. I've had to release some back to the universe, as Fabienne lovingly calls it. And thanks to Boldheart, I've learned how to do that. I've learned how to hire well. And my goal card for 2019 was to surpass $500,000 in revenue, and I'm on track to do that. This month, I'm going to probably bring in about $50,000 alone.
Wow.
So
you said that 18 months ago, you came in at 200.
Mm-hmm.
And just an hour, well, I wish.
I know.
A year and a half later, you're at $500,000.
Yes. And the
Damn.
sky is the limit. Like, I'm like, just wait and see. That's how I feel.
Yeah.
So.
Just curious about the husband, yeah.
He's great with helping me with managing because he's a manager. That's a superpower. So he's awesome with that. But we don't talk about money with my business. I mean, I have $20,000 payrolls now. Like, who? That was more than I made in like 2 months, not that long ago. And so if I tell him that I'm nervous, he gets upset and he brings my vibration down. So
you come here.
I come to my team, I come to my pod, and I come to you guys, and you remind me that I have it, and that's it. So he still today, the other day when I was packing to come here, he's like, how much are you paying for that every month again? I'm like, do you care? Look how much money we've made. Look how much our family has been impacted. We're able to do more things. I have more time. I'm paying, by the way, for my son to go to college without any student loans. So, which was a big dream of mine. That was always my dream for him.
Do you remember what we talked about on day one? How it's not about a training. It's not about a coaching program. It's not even about more clients and more money and more authority. It's about you making your own money. 10K a month consistently, or if you're already at 6 figures, you can go to multiple 7 figures, even multiple what? What did I say? 7? Mm-hmm. Multiple 6 figures and then 7 figures. And in the end, it's about certainty and financial security and being able to single-handedly pay for your son's college because you grew your business here.
Yes.
That is amazing. You'd recommend it?
Oh, absolutely. I think leap and the net will appear. Figure it out. I'll tell you what I do really quickly. I'm like, okay, it's this amount a month. How many clients do I have to see? Okay, I can see 10 more. I got this shit. And that's what I did. But then believe it or not, once I made that decision, the universe expanded, and suddenly I didn't have to do that anymore. As a matter of fact, I see 3 clients a week now, thank you, Drive Around, and I'm focusing on my business, so I don't have to bootleg and bootstrap anymore, so.
Congratulations, Debbie.
Thank you.
Woo! Your turn.
I'm Nancy Linneruth. I'm a procrastination coach and an EFT or tapping specialist, unblockresults.com. And when I first joined, I had a teeny tiny little hobby business on the side of being a therapist.
Yeah.
And I had been saying for years that I was going to grow that coaching practice so I could leave therapy and do what I'm here to do, what I'm really meant to do. And I gave it my all. I tried so hard, and it got smaller and smaller and smaller.
What wasn't working?
Nothing was working. Well, the reality is I didn't know how to market.
Okay.
I thought I should be able to figure it out, but it wasn't working.
There's that feeling, especially as women, that we should figure it out on our own because otherwise we look stupid or like we don't know what we're doing, right? So that false pride, wasn't working. You found us. Was there any resistance in saying yes?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Tell us.
I came to Mindset, and I realized that what I really needed was to get the training in how to do marketing. But man, it cost a lot.
Yeah.
And I had this tiny little business that had never paid anywhere near that amount. But I knew that if I didn't do this, nothing would happen with the business. It would go away, basically. And I would always regret that. So I called my husband up, who was very supportive, but he, like me, is like, that much money? Are you sure? But I promised I would give it my all. I would do everything. And I would see. And if it worked, then it was worth it. If it didn't, it was still worth it because then I would know that it wasn't right for me.
Yeah. And so you took the leap of faith.
Yes.
And what's happened since you joined us?
Well, the first year I worked like hell. And I changed my website, I did some videos, I did all the things I was supposed to be doing.
Because you were coming from a teeny tiny...
It was nothing.
Right.
Okay. And so I put all that in place, and I started to see a little bit of change by the end. The next year, I just kept doing what I'd learned, primarily the fastest path to cash, the networking and the speaking and all. And by the end of that year, I compared, and I had made this was last year, 2018, I had made 7 times what I had made in 2017. Wait, 2018 over 2017.
Yes.
I multiplied it by
You said
7 times.
7 times. Give her a hand.
So I kept going.
Yeah.
And then this year, by February, it was really clear that I was losing money by staying in my therapy practice.
Wow.
And it was even clear to my husband. And we agreed it was time, so shut that down. And I've made as much this year by June as I had made all of last year.
Wow.
So
What works about the program for you?
I did need to learn about marketing. I mean, that was important, but in fact, that wasn't the most important thing. It really was the other piece, the mindset piece that we've all been talking about.
Yeah.
And the irony is that's what I work on with my clients too.
Of course, it's okay. Like,
do
you
it
know,
for
we do it
myself.
for others, right?
Yeah. But because that is such a present part, that is helping me remember to work on it when things happen. And the reason why it's front and center, I mean, obviously it's part of the curriculum, it's part of what Kiva talks about a lot, but the whole community talks about it. Everyone is aware of it. And so it's not some sort of weird thing. You kind of look around and see if anyone's noticing. It's like everyone is saying, hey, you got to get in the vortex. Or, hey, let's support you with this.
Yeah.
And it has made me see myself in a totally different way. I've gone from being this little therapist to like, I'm here. I'm meant to change the world.
Yeah.
So.
Tell me about Kiva.
Oh, man. Kiva is so wonderful. I want to be Kiva when I grow up. I really do. And it's interesting because I was at the live meeting in June, and Kiva announced that she was going to do a fast track day for those who wanted to come to Boston. And I called my husband and I said, oh, I so want to do this. I mean, and he listens in. He listens in on the Q&As, Kiva. And he'll tell me afterwards, she's good. She's really good. So I called him and I said, oh, I wish I could, but I can't justify that. And his answer was, are you kidding? You should go. It's going to fast track you. Go.
Wow. Big support as a result. Words of advice?
If you're wanting to grow a business, this is the place for it. Come here, work on your mindset. You really have to do it. Mm-hmm. But this community, the people who train you know their stuff.
Yeah.
And if you do it, you'll see such changes that you can't do on your own. You just can't. At least I couldn't.
I don't think many people can give themselves a good haircut. I think we need to just lay down the expectation that what got us here is going to get us to the next level. And I think there's real bravery and humility in saying, you know what? I tried doing it on my own, and there's nothing wrong with me if I couldn't do it on my own, but I love myself enough to give myself the world-class support that will take me to my next level.
Absolutely.
Can we give them a huge hand? Thank you so much. Thank you so much for inspiring them.